Alrighty everyone, welcome back to this episode and live stream here on Let's Build Twitter. As always, if you guys do want access to the private repository, there is a link in the description below that walks you through exactly how to do that. Whenever you get access to the private repository, you also get access to these videos coming up early. I just want to mention that because there has been some more comments about how to access it, so just wanted to get that out of the way. So with that being said, last episode we went ahead and finished up kind of like the profile page and started working towards getting posted to be displayed here on the feed page. So tonight I'm hoping that we can go ahead and get this feed controller kind of set up and then also start working on maybe displaying some posts on the feed page. We'll see what happens. I'm a little bit tired tonight, so we may or may not get a bunch done. So we're just going to see where the wind takes us, so to speak. I have a feeling there's going to be a little bit of debugging to do for the get feed for user and some other things. So we'll see what happens here. So we left off with this feed service created. Now we need this feed controller. Let's go ahead and bring in the private final feed service. And then we'll just call this feed service is equal to this. Then we'll say public and feed controller, and then pass in our feed service. Okay, and this will be this dot feed service is equal to feed service. Let's go ahead and auto wire this, auto wired, and I'm trying to think whether we want to do a get request or a post request. So for this, we could probably get away with a get request at get mapping to slash, and I'm trying to think about how we want to do this. So this is going to be, maybe we say slash, and then this will be feed slash, and then whatever the username is. So we can say like username, actually be ID for the user, and then we can say public, and this will be I think it's technically a set, but I don't remember, public list. And these are going to be sorted at some point. I think the plan was to just get these working as is and then sort them later on, because we can use like list.sort or collections.sort on the list, put a comparator on it or comparable on this and so on. So this will be a list of post. Okay, and this will be get post for feed. And then we'll also have like get post for some other stuff. Why? Okay, that's fine, I guess. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and say at path variable, and this will be ID, and we might want this to be like user ID. We're also going to need a header probably, so we might also need to pass that in, user ID. And then let's just do this, and this will be an integer user ID, and then we'll just return our feed service dot get feed for user with user ID. I don't expect this to work first try. I'm going to be completely honest. I expect it to break, but we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and rerun this. And we might already have a bearer token on our front end because our bearer tokens don't expire. We might want to make them expire after so many days, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and hop into Postman. Now, the only issue that I can see occurring is I don't think that we're following anyone. So if we get following, I don't know why that's called following, but let's see who unknown coder is following. So yeah, so it says I'm not following anyone currently. So I can either go into the API and follow a couple people, or I could go into the application and follow a couple people. Let's go ahead and we can get on the front end, I guess, to make this a little bit more fun. So we could look for like Rick and maybe some extra people follow up. Okay, I guess not. That's an issue because Rick doesn't even show up. We put R. Now he shows up. I wonder why Rick didn't show up. So maybe that's an issue. But we put R, Rick Sanchez now pops up. We can follow him. Unfollow doesn't do anything. We come in here and we say following. We see Rick Sanchez now. So that's good. And then maybe we follow Morty. So Morty does pop up. So I wonder why. That's kind of strange that Rick didn't pop up. So Rick Dog, Morty, Mort Dog has 2 posts. Obviously this is hard coded, so we don't want that. We'll go and follow Morty. I believe Summer is 4, but I'm not sure. So we'll go ahead and look up bird person. bird person does pop up. We need to look at why Rick doesn't pop up. So he has 2 posts. It's kind of weird. We put Rick in, now he pops up first. That's weird. Unless he was at the end or something. I don't know. We should probably debug that. But now I'm following 3 people. So if I come back in here, if I go ahead and see who I'm following 3 people. So that is good. And these all these people have some posts. So now what we can go ahead and do is we can go ahead and go back into Postman. Okay, so we'll make a new folder. And this will be feed. And then we'll go ahead and I think mine's like 101 or something. Make a new request. And this will be a GET request to, this is like feed slash ID or something like that. User ID. Let's go to http:// and now instead of discovery, we'll say feed slash, and then we can just say, I think mine's like 101 or something. So this should be 105. So if it says feed slash 105, I think we should get like 6 posts. Technically speaking, I think you'll get your post as well. So we might want to update it to also include ours. So we got 401 authorized because we didn't put in, and we're gonna go into headers and we'll say authorization. And then we'll say paste the bear token in there and send it. Oh, you know what? It's because I have feed slash feed. So I'm just gonna have slash user ID and change that, and that should fix that. I didn't realize we had 2 there. Let's get rid of this save. So now we should be able to find it. So it got an empty array, so that's not good. Oh, you know what? We refreshed the database. I'm just stupid. Okay, we refreshed the database several times. So then we obviously had to go through and refollow people. Okay, that makes sense. So let's go ahead and follow Morty. So if I go back to body, follow Morty. I should make like a batch follow or something. And then bird person has some tweets. So bird person. Okay. And that's going to be a pain in the backside for every single time that we want to redo this. But it is what it is. So feed. So now do we get, okay, there we go. That's much better. So post 10 from Morty. And then hopefully it has a, it does have a posted date. So at 2023-07, so this one's 23-06, 23-08, 23-03, and 23-05. So now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and actually sort these. So what we'll do is if we go into our post, I'm going to go ahead and say at comparable, or implements comparable. And then this will be of type post, obviously. And then we need to implement this. So save this, go ahead and implement the method, compareTo. And then this is just going to return. So let's say like return this dot and then get, we want like the date, post the date dot compareTo o.postedate, and go ahead and do that. We'll see what order this does. We might have to do negative this. So we need to go back into feed controller. We need to return collections dot, and then we need to say sort, I think. And I think this should return a list, and I don't need to go through and do all of that again. Let's see, does it not return a list? It returns a void. So what we actually need to do is we need to say list of post, feed post is equal to feed service dot get feed for user, pass in that user ID, and then we have to say collections dot sort, collections dot sort feed post, and then we need to pass that feed post here. Okay, that should basically sort it in place, and then we'll just go ahead and return that. We could have used like a set or something, but there shouldn't be duplicates. We want this the opposite way, so we want the 08 first, so that just means that we need to go into our post, and we need to return negative this dot date post dated dot compareTo, and once again we'll refresh. And I'll probably skip over me adding all of these people in the follower list again. Now if we go to feed, click on this, Now, okay, the newest ones are on top. So that's exactly what we were looking for. I think for now it's good enough. The only thing that I kind of want to do, and I just killed that again, is inside of our feed service, I do want to get our post as well. So let's say set of post current user post is equal to post service dot, okay, we do have get all posts by author, and we'll go ahead and pass in current user. And then what we'll go ahead and do, so now what we need to do is we can also say list of post following post is equal to post service dot get all posts by authors, put in following, and then what we can do is we can return a list dot of, and we can go ahead and pass in current user post and following post. Maybe there is a way to do this. It might be return new array list dot add all. Maybe let's try this dot add all. You can pass collections, and we can go current post users following post. But then we can also just say list all posts equal to new array list, I guess. And we'll do this. We'll make sure this is a list of posts. This is not the neatest way we could do this. We could probably use some stream or something to stream these, but basically I'm just gonna say all posts dot add all, and then pass in current user post, and then all posts dot add all again, and then pass in the following post, return all post. This isn't going to change anything right now because my user currently doesn't have any posts, but if we go into now feed controller, and this should work the same basically. So now I'm curious to see if this works. So if we refresh, I want to see how broken our post is. Probably a bunch of stuff we need to fix. So, and now if we get feed, we should still see that's the top post. If we go into footer and go into home, so we can say what's poppin', we'll see how much it's broken. So if we post that, let's see, did we get an error? Console, no error. Okay, so that seems like it worked. Now theoretically, if we say feed, we get what's popping at the top, just as we expect. So now this is the newest one. This one's a little bit older, so on and so forth. Right, so now it's working, so that's cool. I didn't expect that to actually work that well. So now what we can do is whenever we load this component, basically we can load the person's feed. And let me think about how I want to do this. I'm wondering if we do a feed slice and reload it each time, like if we go somewhere that has a feed of posts or content. And we could also do like this for like the search page and all this other stuff, because the search page has a bunch of posts and stuff, so on and so forth. So I'm thinking that's what we do. So let's go into our discovery search. Well, not discovery search, go to our front end. So if we go into our slice, let's make a new folder, a new file. We'll go ahead and call this feed slice.ts. Theoretically, we could have kind of done like a context, but this one I think is going to be used across more pages. So it'll be used across profile, it'll be used across discovery, it'll be used across feed, that it's expanded enough that we kind of go across. So import React, actually we import create slice from, and this is coming from at redux.js toolkit. We also need to import Axios from Axios. Now it's been a minute since I set up a slice, so let's say interface, and we'll say I guess feed slice state. And so here we'll obviously have posts, so post will be a post array. I'm trying to think of what else we might want. That might be it for now. So const initial state is a feed slice state, and then this will have post equal to an empty array. Oh, we need to put an equal to, and we can create our slice, I think. So for that, we say export const and the slice name, export const, and this will be feed slice is equal to create slice. And then I believe we do this. Name will be equal to feed. We need our initial states. And then after this, we have our reducers, which will be empty. And then we also have our extra reducers, which has colon, builder, and then we'll have our extra reducers. So we will need to do async stuff, and that's primarily all this will be. I think we will add a user's newest post to the top of the list, but other than that, we're not going to be doing too much. Now we might have issue with images and stuff. Hopefully not. We'll see. Now we need to go ahead and what else do we need to bring in? So we need create async thunk for sure. So let's go ahead and bring in that. So let's also go ahead and bring in create async thunk. And then what we'll go ahead and do is we'll go ahead and say const. We need to export this, export const, and we'll say load users feed. So then if we, for example, if we load like a user's profile feed or something, we'll go ahead and grab the user's profile or whatever. So this one will be specifically for the feed page. Actually, let's say load feed page. So equal to create async thunk. And then inside we have feed/feed page maybe. And then we have our async function, async. We just need the payload and thunk, comma, thunk API. We'll set up the payload in a second. All right, so payload, we'll need an interface. So interface, and this will be load feed page payload. And this will have to have a token, which is a string. It'll also have to have the user ID, which is a number. And that's just the current user that's logged in. That should be easy enough. So let's set up a try catch. So if it's an error, we'll just go ahead and return thunk API dot reject with value and I guess we'll also go ahead and inside of here we'll add a loading, which is boolean, and we'll also add a error to boolean. Error should never happen, I don't think, but you never know. Maybe they're not authenticated. So loading will be false and error will be false. So we'll go ahead and return thunk API. So now we want to try let request equal to await axios dot, and this is just a get request, and we're going to get, and since this is a path param, we'll say http / localhost 8000 / feed / curly brace, and this will be, we need to set our payload equal to a payload of type feed. And let me change this to load with uppercase, load feed page payload. So this would be payload dot user ID. Okay, we do comma, and then we have to have headers, and then we'll have authorization, and this will be a bear token, bear, and then $ curly brace, and we'll have our token, and this will be payload.token. We could call this something else, but I'll just call it payload, and then from here we'll return our rec.data, because the data is just going to be a list of posts. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we need to set up our builders. So in here we're going to go ahead and say builder dot add case, and this is going to be for load feed page dot pending, and then we'll have our state in action. So here we'll say state is equal to ... state maybe, and loading will be true, and we can return states. I'm horrible at typing. And then we'll say builder to add case for load feed page dot fulfilled. We'll have our state and action. And here we'll go ahead and say state is equal to dot state. We'll say post is equal to action dot payload, and we'll say loading is false. And then up here, I'm also gonna go ahead and say while it's pending, error will be false. That way we don't have to set it in here. We'll just set loading to false. And then finally, we'll go ahead and say builder dot add case. And this will be load feed page dot rejected. And then this will have our state and action as well. And then here we'll say state is equal to, and I made a mistake up top, so I'll fix it in a second. So loading will be false and error will be true. Now let's make sure to return the state. We would have been debugging that for crazy hours here. And return the state. Okay, so all of those are exported. We should be able to dispatch them. So basically, whenever we load the feed page component itself, I think whenever we load the feed itself, so whenever this all gets loaded and feed gets loaded, so let's go into our feed components. So this is where like our top bar and all the information is going to be. So let's go ahead, and you're not really supposed to do this, but I don't really care. There's some ways to kind of mitigate issues, but if it gets called twice here, I'm not that concerned about it. Go ahead and let's bring in use effect and then some other things. So use effect, and then we'll also bring in dispatch, use dispatch, and also use selector. And then we also want to import our app dispatch, our root states, and then we also want to go ahead and bring in import our, and what is this called? I forget. Load feed page. Yeah, load feed page from there. So what we'll need is we'll want like the user state. So say const and user state is equal to, and this will be equal to use selector of type, and this will be state, root state. What we're gonna go ahead and return is state.user, just state.user, because we want the token and stuff, and then const feed state is equal to use selector. Probably could have done this differently. I just gonna say or whatever, but it's fine. I kind of wanted to break it apart. Root state, and then this will return state dot. We never added it, so go ahead and say feed here. We need to add this to the store. I completely forgot about this step. Let's go to our store. Let's go ahead and import our feed reducer. We also never actually exported the reducer. Slices slash feed slice. So this isn't going to work. So we need to go into our feed slice and we need to export default. We need to export const and this equal to feed, feed slice dot actions. So we'll fill that out in a little bit. Export, I think this one's default, and we need to feed slice.reducer. And now inside of our store, that's fine. And we can go ahead and add our feed, which is feed reducer, and save that. And now inside of our feed page, it'll be fine. Okay. And then finally, we'll have a const dispatch. It's equal to an app dispatch equal to use dispatch. And save that. It's going to complain because we're not using it. So now we're going to break the big rule here. We're going to go ahead and say if, actually going to set a use effect. And we're going to do one of these. And we're just going to do this. I'm just going to do this once when the page loads. We want to make sure that our user state dot logged in user, and we want to make sure there's a token. So, and user state dot token. As long as both of these are fine, we can go ahead and dispatch. and we can dispatch. I'm gonna go ahead and make this multi-line because it's gonna be a little bit ugly. So we're gonna go ahead and dispatch, and we're gonna go ahead and dispatch our load feed page, which takes in a token, which is user state dot token. We also need a user ID, which is user state dot logged in dot, and then it should just be user ID. So that should take care of that. And then if we want to, we could also console.log to make sure that we actually got the information. So if we go to our feed slice, we can go into here and quickly we can say let post equal to rec.data. We can console.log the post, and we can return the said post. So as long as we didn't screw up the authorization, which we did, now if we go into the console and refresh, we should be able to see a list of posts. Should is the keyword here. There's probably going to be some debugging we have to do. So go into our console and refresh. Okay, so nothing happened. Interesting. Maybe the token or something's not updated. So maybe we say user state dot token and user state dot logged in. Maybe the token's not in there yet, so maybe that's the issue. Yeah, that was the issue. So there we go. Now we have it. And the thing is now while it's loading, we can actually have a loading spinner or something like that. That way it's like, I don't know what Twitter does. Twitter's pretty fast, so it might not have a loading spinner. But if it's a little bit slow, we can have a loading spinner there and we're good to go. So now is the part that is going to be interesting. So I don't know what information the post actually has on them. What I'm thinking is we go ahead and make a text post, or I guess we can just make a regular post. We can just add components to it that need to be added to it, like a poll component and all that stuff. But let's go ahead and like at least make a text post and start getting them put on the screen. That'd be pretty cool. We're not going to worry about any of what any of the buttons do. We're literally just going to work on getting like the basic stuff up on the screen, and then we'll kind of go from there. I think we go ahead. I don't know if post is enough of a feature to put in its own thing, but I might go ahead and make a new folder for post and make a new folder, components, and then make a new folder, call this post, and make a new file, post.tsx, make a new file, post.css. Okay, so let's get rid of a couple things here. We'll keep feed. I don't think we need, well, we'll keep feed slice, whatever. We'll just put it over here. So post, let's import React from React. Okay, this is going to be purely a component that just shows information. I don't know why I can't speak right now. So it's going to have an interface, and we'll call this post props. And this is literally just going to take in a post, import the post, and then we're going to export const post, which is a React.function component. It takes in post props and equal to, and then we'll say break this apart, post, right, and then we'll return. And in here, we return a div, the class name equal to post. And what's the problem? Post is already defined. Actually, let's say import post as iPost. And then we can say iPost. Okay, cool. That fixed it. A plain old text post is going to have a left and right side. Say div class name equal to post left, and then it's going to have a post right. So div class name equal to post right. So this will be a flex box, and maybe we have some padding and stuff on it, but it'll be a flex box. The left is just going to have an image. The right is going to have a div class name equal to post user info maybe. And this is gonna have like the username. So this will be a p tag. Well, do we want to do the p tag? Yeah, we'll probably do a p tag. Class name equal to post dash user nickname. We'll say post nickname probably just to make it simple on ourselves. And then this will be in here. We'll have post dot author dot nickname. Okay, and I guess we can go ahead and throw this in here. So we can go ahead and say image, and then we'll say src is equal to post dot author dot although profile picture, we're gonna need to go ahead and bring in the default profile picture for now, because again we haven't properly set up default stuff. So imports pfp from dot slash, this is like all the way outside in assets slash default pfp. So here we'll say question mark. So if there is a profile picture, we'll say post dot author dot profile picture. Whoops, I goofed, profile picture. Otherwise we'll say pfp. So we'll do a default. It's going to complain because it doesn't have a alt, so I guess I'll add alt to make it stop complaining. And we'll say this, we'll say users pfp or something. We could actually say $ curly brace and then post dot author dot, and then maybe we'll say nickname comma s pfp. Okay, so the profile user will have this. We'll have another p tag with a class name equal to post username, and we still need to add whether or not they're verified, but this will say post dot author. And you know what, it might be easier if we say const author equal to post, and then we can just say author dot nickname, author dot username. It'll just make things a little bit easier here. Author dot profile picture, author dot profile picture. We could even break this down even more, I bet, but this is fine. Author dot nickname. And we could also say probably like content and stuff like that as well, and break it apart even more. So, and then finally we have like whether or not they're verified. So I don't remember how we did this in profile, but we can probably take a look. So this would come off the user itself. So I don't know what we're going to do for this. So in post, let's go ahead and, so maybe for now we just leave it off and we come back and do it later. So this actually goes next to the username. So I'm going to say, I'm going to make a comment here. I'm going to say add in verified. Once I add verified to the user on the back end, and then the same thing here for org picture or for org image. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll say add an org image once I add orgs to the backend, or to the user on the back end. So we'll just go ahead and skip that. And then we also have, it looks like it has like when it was posted. So either it's going to be like how many days ago or how many hours ago. So I guess if it's more than like 23 hours, it'll be the date that it was uploaded on. So for now, I think for this one, we come back to it. So I'll just put a p tag here for now with a class name equal to post slash posted at. Yeah, for now, what we can go ahead and do is we can go ahead and say post, and we'll say posted at or posted date. So yeah, so here, this one we're gonna say like posted date dot, and there's a way to get like a nice date. We'll do local date string. I don't know why it's saying that it's optional. It should be there. Posted date should not be undefined. It might be because of whenever we're creating it, maybe, but that's the top part of this. And then there's a content section. So div class name equal to post dash content. And this literally just has the content. Oh, there's also one more thing, I guess, on this. So I guess what we're gonna have to do is user info. I guess never mind, this is fine. So outside of user info, this is scuffed anyway. So we need another div. Class name equal to post more or something. I don't know what else to call this, and make sure this is post right. Yep, okay, we're good there. Although no, this does need to be in the top in user info. So what do I want to do this? We might need to say div class name equal to post dash top right, or right dash top section, or user info wrapper, maybe, because this user info needs to go into a wrapper, unfortunately. And then outside this user info wrapper, but still inside of post right, we are going to have to call this like post right top, because this is already the info wrapper. And then inside here I have another div with a class name equal to post dash more, and then we need the ellipses. So let me go ahead and go to material UI. Yeah, it's called more horizontal. So let's go ahead and grab more horizontal, and let's go ahead and bring it in above the PFP, I guess. And then this will have the more horizontal, except it didn't actually bring in what I wanted. More horizontal icon. And again, we're not going to worry about CSS at this moment. I just want to go ahead and show posts and post info. So now we have our user info. We also have post more. This will eventually have an on click that does stuff, but I can't be asked to do that at this moment. So now we have our post content. So div class name equal to post dash content. So this one is literally just content. I might just make this a p tag, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't know why it can't be a p tag. So this will be content. And then finally we'll have a div class name equal to post dash action bar, maybe, because this is kind of like where you can do the likes and stuff. And now we have a bunch of icons. So that means we're going to yoink from Twitter. So I'm going to go ahead and inspect, and we're going to yoink from Twitter. So let's see if we can get this SVG. Yes, we can. And I think I just grabbed the SVGs before. I don't remember how to do the SVGs. So I'm just going to copy the element, and then we're going to go into our SVGs. So I think this is in components, SVGs, new file. I don't remember how we do this, but this will be reply SVG, and this will be reply outline. Whoops. SVG, because there's also a filled in, and I don't remember how we did these. So let's just take a look at a random one. So we need SVG props. So imports SVG props. And then I think we can export default and reply outline SVG. And I think it's export function, reply outline SVG, do this. And I think we pass in the props SVG props. And then we return this SVG and we make it look prettier. So we need to get rid of the class and aria hidden. So let's go ahead and get rid of those. Do this. Hopefully this is the right SVG then. We'll see what it looks like whenever we put it on the page, I guess. Let's go ahead and scroll over and clean this up a little bit. I feel like there should be a fill, or maybe the D is the fill. I'm not sure. I'm hoping this works. So we'll have height is equal to, and this will be props.height. We'll have width equal to, and this will be props.width. And I believe that the fill equal to this, and then this will be props.color question mark props.color. Otherwise, I think we just went black, so pound 000. So I'm curious to see if this even looks right. So if we go into our, let's close out of this, go into our feed or our post, and then the first one will be our reply outline SVG. So height will be maybe like 20 or something, I'm not sure. Yeah, height will be 20. Width will equal to 20, and then color. So color is also going to be interesting because this one needs to be like have like an on click and stuff. For now, we'll go to our app and we'll just grab gray. We might want dark gray, I don't know, but that's the first one. And this actually needs a div. Class name equal to post action bar reply wrapper. And also we need to keep track of, so this is going to be really interesting because on top of this, we're also going to need like the number of like replies to this. So I think for now, I'm just going to leave a comment. Again, we're doing bare minimum right now. We'll go ahead and say number of replies beside it. It's like beside and below. It's kind of strange the way they do it. Let's just get some of these feeds, these on here. So I'm gonna just make a div with a class name equal to feed dash post. And then we'll go ahead and do this, and we'll say feed state dot post. And we need to make sure it's not loading. So what we can do is say feed, not feed state dot loading. And then we'll say feed state dot post dot map each post. And we'll map it to a post. Post will equal to post. Okay, that's a lot of post. And okay, so it should look really bad, but I'm hoping we at least see some posts on the screen. And we broke. Each child should have this. So to locale date string is not a function. Dot. These are all functions. Let's go ahead and convert this back to this. And we'll say posted date question mark. Get rid of this. And otherwise we'll do this. So let's try this. Const convert posted date to date. So it might be mad at us because it thinks it's not a date. So we'll do this. This will take in the posted date, and it'll return a date. And do this. We'll return new date of posted date. Whoops. And I spelled posted date wrong. And posted date is supposed to have any. That's fine because I don't even know what the heck you're taking in apparently. Honestly, we'll say convert posted date to string. And we'll just say let posted date. Actually, we'll just say let d equal to new date. And we'll pass in posted date. Return d dot to date string, which is a method, and this needs to return a string instead. And then here we can say posted date and this, get rid of this, get rid of this, and then here instead we'll just say convert posted date to string. And honestly, we don't even need to do this. We can just pass it like that. Convert posted date to string. What is your problem? We need to pass it as a function. Fair enough. Const posted date string. This is one of the most annoying things I've ever dealt with in my entire life. Posted date. And then what if we add posted date string in here? Then it's at least a string, right? And it literally did posted date, and you love to see it. I had to do this, I guess. Okay, it did. February, blah, blah, blah. That was annoying. Okay, well, it's fine. We got all of these in here, and that looks fine. That looks like it's supposed to. Might be a little bit big, but obviously when we hover over it, we're gonna need to do more. So next would be post action. And let's just try to wrap up kind of these last couple items here. So next one would be repost. So let's go ahead and go into our SVGs, make a new file, and this will be repost svg.tsx. This one might also exist, but whatever. And we'll export default function, and this will be and this should be repost outline svg. So rename this to repost outline, because we're gonna have a non-outline repost outline. Whoops. svg. We're not gonna do that right now. Props will be svg props will return. And let me go ahead and yoink this from Twitter, copy this guy, copy the element, and paste it in. Again, I'm just copying the element off of Twitter specifically, so not doing anything crazy. Technically, I've already hidden on some of these other ones. I don't think I need it. Go ahead and do the path. Like, let's like at least make this look somewhat pretty. Grab the path there. Okay, so now we have height is equal to props.height. Width is equal to props.width. Let's just go ahead and knock out, or try and knock these out really quick. And then fill is equal to props.color question mark props.color colon. Otherwise, we'll just do the color black. Now we have a like icon, and this one we probably could have stolen pretty easily, but whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and copy the like element. So new file, and we'll say like outline svg.tsx, and then we'll go ahead and import our svg props from our global interfaces, exports default function. This will be like outline svg, and this will take in props of type svg props. Turn this guy. Okay, looks a little bit ugly, but it's fine. Get rid of aria hidden in class. Maybe we do need aria hidden, and I don't know, but I don't think it's necessary. So now here we have height, although I might have looked into why it's there and realized that I needed it, so maybe I'm screwing myself here. Height and width equal to props.width. Cool. And then we'll go ahead and fill equal to props.color. If we have a color, we'll fill it with props.color. Otherwise, we'll fill it with black. And then we have 3 more to deal with. So we also have analytics, I guess, or view. So I guess I'll just go ahead and call this new file views svg.tsx. Okay, so import our svg props. And then we will export defaults function views svg, and then this will take in our props of svg props. And it's going to return this icon guy. So let's go ahead and copy this SVG. And then let's go ahead and get rid of aria hidden in class. If I realize I need aria hidden, I'll probably add back in, no big deal. So this one's pretty simple because just a bunch of lines. Okay, now we have our height equal to props.height, width equal to props.width, and then path will fill equal to props.color question mark. So that'll be props.color. Otherwise, it'll just be black. And then we have two more. So we have bookmark, although we already have bookmark, so that's fine. And then the other one is share. So share doesn't have an outline or anything, so we can just go and make a new file. And this will be share svg.tsx, and we'll import our svg props. We don't want it from React though, we want it from our global interfaces. I don't know why it keeps adding that extra one. I'm gonna export default, and this will be share svg, and this will be function. Whoops, I'm getting tired. Function share svg. Maybe props will be svg props. Return, and then we go ahead and grab our share icon. Let's clean it up so we don't need aria hidden for this. And height will equal to height, actually be props.height, and then width will equal to props.width, and then our fill will equal to props.color question mark props.color. Otherwise, we'll fill it with black. Okay, so now we got all of our SVGs. Let's clear out this stuff. And there's going to be a lot of copy pasting going on here. So next, we'll copy this. We'll paste it. So this one will be repost wrapper. And this will be reply or repost outline SVG. It's gonna have the same thing and number of reposts. And then next we'll have our like. So this will be like outline SVG. Okay, and I don't know why it's not smart enough to figure that out, but okay. Number of likes beside it. After likes we have views. Copy this, paste it. Whoops, so this is repost, this is like wrapper, this is views. And I'm doing each one of these in different colors because each one of these each one of these in a different class because each one of these has a different color. So this will be views SVG. Now outline, number of views beside it, and then after that kind of like a little section by themselves. So div class name equal to post action bar dash right, maybe that's really what it is. And these ones also have these, so we're going to grab this. So this will be, instead of views wrapper, this will be bookmark wrapper, and then this will be bookmark SVG. SVG. Is it, maybe it's bookmarks SVG? Because I know I have bookmark. I have it in here because we come into here. Are you kidding me, Twitter? So Twitter added a new section. So we do have one more to add. Let me go ahead and grab bookmarks. I love when Twitter does stuff like that. New file. Bookmark SVG. Bookmark outline svg.tsx. Import our SVG props. Export defaults. And this will be bookmark. We need function first. Function bookmark outline SVG. Props will be SVG props. Return this guy, so get rid of this stuff. And now we'll say height is equal to props.height. Width is equal to props.width. And then we'll do our fill. Oops. Fill is equal to props.color, question mark, props.color. Otherwise, it's going to be in black. Okay, now we got our bookmark outline, bookmarks outline. Might be just called bookmark outline. I don't remember what I called it. I just grabbed it from a Chill UI on accident. Did I name this wrong? I did. Fix that. Okay, that should be fine. And fix this. And then finally, we'll grab the last bit, which is share. I don't think this one has an outline, so this one's probably just share SVG. Share SVG for my components. And there we go. Now keep in mind that we still have a lot of CSS work to do, but I have 15, 16 minutes, so we're not going to do any of the CSS work today. We'll work on it later. We have all these. These all need highlights. Why is that? So we're going to wrap this like this. I didn't think we had to do this. I could just be stupid, which I never claimed to be smart. So could just be losing my marbles tonight. There we go. Now we have all different posts. Obviously, we'd like it for the users to have their profile pictures. And I can probably start adding profile pictures and whatnot, but I think that's going to do it. We got the feed working. And then we're going to go ahead and adding the actual stuff in there, and that'll look nice. And then once we kind of get the text in, some of these things working, actually we'll probably just make the post visually work first. So we'll start working on images and that sort of thing, and maybe polls. I don't know what a poll even looks like on Twitter, but yeah, and then when you can start working on notifications and stuff, which isn't going to be fun, it'll be interesting. But yeah, so I want to thank you all for stopping by. Thank you for watching the stream. Thank you for watching the video. This has been Ethan Uncutter. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, afternoon, morning, evening. I'll see you guys in the next video and live stream.